Yeah, good morning. I'll take a medium with 2 sugar and a medium regular, please. Morning, DDT.
Duff, how are you, buddy?
Fantastic. I like calling you DDT. I'm gonna really try to stick with that.
You gonna stick with DDT now?
That's right, Darcy.
That's good. No. You already forgot. I was like
it's
1
all
second.
good. It's all good. A new week, a new name, same spot.
Same spot. Same. You bought the coffee again?
I'm back to buying the coffee.
Yeah.
No loud talkers today.
No loud talkers. No.
Oh man.
At Tim's, can we say Tim's?
We just did.
Yeah.
And it's funny. We're sitting in there chatting about the podcast.
Yeah.
Now we're doing the podcast, and it's like we should almost do a podcast on the pre-podcast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there was some funny shit that we just talked about.
It was.
We may or may not even make it to the podcast.
Yeah, because we'll forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll forget.
And we don't plan.
No, we don't. We say, oh, we should put that in the podcast.
I was just going to say, how many times do I say, oh, let's not forget to talk about that?
Yeah, and then we forget.
We must have had 15 things, and we'll be lucky if we get through 3 of them, especially if you talk about your trip to Turkey. That was something you want.
Yeah, I wanted to talk. We talk.
I don't want to talk about it right now, though.
No. Okay. But we talk a lot about travel.
Yes.
So
lack of travel.
Lack of travel these days. So I kind of was reminiscing about my time in Turkey.
Oh man.
What?
It's funny.
1990. So that's a long time ago.
And it's funny you say travel because you know what I'd be doing right now every year.
Yeah.
What was yesterday?
Friday.
Well, it was Friday. We're back on schedule with our Saturday podcast.
Yeah.
The Friday that we just had, traditionally, other than last year, me and the Duffsters would always pile into the F-150 and head south.
Not the electric vehicle?
Not the electric vehicle. It would be a very uncomfortable electric ride all that way.
Yeah.
But it was...
because it was fun. Traditionally March break.
March break, that's what I'm getting at. And the best part about March break, as most people know, or at least as most educators would know, is it's like the anticipation of March break is almost as good as March break. So that week before March break, you're flying high. Yeah. Like it's a really fun environment to be in because everybody's looking forward to March break. It's kind of like, teaching in June. It's not rough. Yeah. Everyone's in a great mood because you're going to be off for
2 months.
So anyways, it's kind of like a Friday feeling, but magnified over a week for March break and over a month for the summer. So we would always, we would often load up and head out right after school on a Friday, and we'd hit the border, and I guarantee you we would always see another car in the line that we would know. Whether we were crossing at Ogdensburg or Thousand Islands, like it'd be, hey! And I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk to this person. I'm just kidding. But yeah, you'd always see people. And our favorite destinations were always North Carolina. Yeah. Wrightsville Beach, amazing spot. Okay. And we did Virginia Beach a couple times. Nice. And it's touch and go. Like some March breaks were summer-like and some were brutal.
Oh, really?
We went to Wrightsville.
You got to go more south.
Yeah, so we went to Florida the 1 year as well, which is a hell of a... Actually, we did that over Christmas. Anyways, the further you go, the better the weather. But some years, I mean, you get as far as Delaware, and it's like, wow.
Nice.
Anyways, I wasn't planning to talk about my
past
March break
trips. Talked about it. We never mentioned that while we were sitting in Tim's. Yeah. Can we say Tim's?
Yeah.
So I guess we should probably start off the podcast, even though we're already 3-4 minutes in.
Apologizing
to our listeners. But I did not hear from my brother this week. So I guess he's okay with everything.
It's all settled down.
There was no injurious waste of time.
Yes.
From him.
Well, that's because he probably didn't even listen.
He might not even listen. He got so fed up with wasting his time that he didn't listen.
But I love the injurious time quotes I hear now from random folks that listen.
What a word that is.
Oh, it's fantastic.
My sister actually said that in a text to me yesterday. Nice. That something was injurious.
You know what? I feel like this podcast has reestablished the sibling connection between you and your sister.
It has, actually. Yeah, it's
actually
very nice.
Brought you guys back together.
It has, yeah. And before this podcast, I hadn't talked to her in like 10 years.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll mess it up somehow.
That's a lie.
I'm sure you'll likely say something that might offend
probably
her as well, maybe.
Oh, I say a lot of things that offend her, so.
I say a lot of things that offend anyone.
Like, I don't know if I should say this, but I will say it, that last Monday was International Women's Day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there are women in our lives that we love.
That is very true. And so I texted my sister and I said, congratulations on International Women's Day.
You're a woman. Good job.
And I said, now go clean something.
Oh, Darcy. Oh, DDT. How'd she respond to that?
You're a jerk.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Same thing my wife responded.
Oh.
When I said it to her, too. No, it's just a joke. Obviously, I'm joking about that.
I don't know. Coming from you, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. So look, another neat thing we were thinking about is how well we've done.
Yeah.
Not talking about the pandemic or COVID or anything like that,
right.
But there's so much freaking material out there.
There is
that we could talk about that could be kind of funny and interesting. Yeah. Because I don't know about you. I do know about you. We see things differently at times.
Yeah.
And the last couple of weeks, I've been saying, at least to myself internally, we're on the way out of this, and I'm extremely optimistic. And I'm back watching the news even because I think the powers that be are running out of data. They're running out of numbers. They're running out of fear and scare tactics, and people are ready to get going. So I certainly don't mind making light of a few observations I've made in the last little while, if you're okay with that.
Well, we did talk about this inside of Tim's.
Yeah.
If we can say Tim's. That maybe we would dedicate
do a whole episode on just pandemic
things,
craziness.
Yeah.
So here's an example of that then. So here's just a little,
give us a taste,
a little spoiler, a little preview into this. So there's the science and there's the fear mongering and there's the whole social bit, right? Which the pandemic, and for right or wrong, it's been dreadfully hard on people in many ways. But so one of the things I like to do is get outside. Obviously, I'm outside a lot, and there are mask wearers and there's non-mask wearers. We're not getting into the mask stuff. But the observation is this, and it's simple. When I'm outside, running on a trail in nature, I'm running, I'm skiing, I'm biking.
Like today.
Do I have a mask on? No. Most people, I would say, don't.
Yeah.
But sometimes you find people. Yeah. And for whatever reason, again, I'm not judging them. This is just an observation. I will see people wearing the mask outside. And this morning, I went for a nice bike ride. It's kind of fun to get out when the ground's really frozen on the bike, even though I don't have studded tires. That's another story. Took a hard fall.
Oh.
But I'm good. Thanks for asking. I'm good.
Well, you never mentioned it before.
Yeah, well, it just came out.
Yeah. How'd you tumble? Did you?
It was crystal clear, smooth ice.
Black ice?
No, white ice, like regular ice. Oh. And my rule has always been slow and steady and straight across. Yeah. And I was doing that, and just the slightest little quiver, this bike went down like that. Like, you got to add a sound effect for that. And it was so fast. It was so fast I didn't hurt myself because I didn't even have time to get my arm out or anything. I literally, imagine me on a bike with my hands on the handlebars. Yeah. And a tenth of a second later, I'm sideways on the ground. Wow. So my whole side body distributed the fall, and it didn't even that much hurt. Wow. But it broke the ice.
And then you fell through.
An inch, and then I popped up, and the water was kind of bubbling out. Anyways, my whole point is...
Well, I'm glad you're okay.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. So, saw these people on the trail with the masks, and...
What?
With the masks. I saw these people on the trail with the masks. Yeah. The masks, And most people are really friendly on the trails around here, but I swear to God, some of them think I am the plague. And I know some of you listeners must have seen this, right? No matter what side of all this
every day,
I'm on, and they I'll exaggerate almost verbally just so you can get the vision. They twist kind of sideways. They're tippy-toeing off the trail. They're like looking in my direction, and like I'm doing something wrong, and I'm really, really, really scary. Yeah. And I'm not.
I know.
And I don't even I can't look these people in the eye anymore because I'm not sure if that's what they're looking for. Do they get off by seeing me think that they're weird, or
I don't know. I don't want to get. I mean, it's become very political, obviously, and I know we're gonna probably talk about it more later in another episode. We'll dedicate maybe.
Oh, but we shouldn't feel bad going outside in nature without a mask.
It has become no, for sure.
And we should wear a mask at times too, for sure. But this just seemed a real conflict of.
My personal opinion is it has become very politicized, and it also has been a psychological factor because
extremely psychological.
We've been conditioned to think that everybody is diseased.
Yeah, that's it.
Basically, they thought they're jumping out of the. I see it all the time. You go for a walk during the day, and people. I know they talk about 6 feet away, but if you're gonna walk past somebody, is that really gonna cause a problem?
Strange. I've heard of people you hear everything. You hear about people getting COVID and going to the hospital, and they've been isolating forever, and all they've ever done is take a walk outside in the winter.
Yeah, exactly.
And maybe they crisscross past, they breathed in 5 particles of the contaminant. Who knows?
I don't know.
But you hit it there. It's like they feel you're like the plague.
Well, I think it's just because we've been like you said before, the fear mongering. I believe that the governments have done. To instill in people about this. When you hear commercials on the radio all the time. Like the latest commercial is PSA is like, oh, I'm okay. I haven't been out much, and I'm going to this thing, and then you hear the heart monitor like dee dee dee, and it goes like flat lines, right? And then the guy's like, oh,
just say dee 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 dee. Okay, subliminally getting me to call your name.
Exactly. But it's become a political thing. But one funny thing is,
let's make it funny.
I know it's not funny, but there. So I read a financial blog.
Yes.
Okay, I read a financial blog. Okay, that talks about talks about real estate in Canada and talks about investing in ETFs, and we've talked a lot about investing. So.
That's right.
But anyway, I've been reading this blog for a long, long time, a number of years now, right?
But the good listener should know to not take their investment advice from us.
From us, exactly.
Yeah. Please consult your own financial planner.
That's right. So anyway, I'm reading this thing, and he talks about real estate in Canada, and we know real estate has been going crazy lately, and he talks about a good approach for long-term investing is ETFs and a balanced portfolio and blah, blah, blah,
sure.
blah, blah. But
that's nothing new.
No, exactly. But he does talk about a lot of times what's going on in Canada and how that relates to finances and stuff like that. And so obviously COVID has come up. So people have commented on certain things, and I, get into the action and I comment on COVID, but I won't even get into what I say exactly.
No,
but
okay.
Apparently I sort of pissed the guy that runs the blog off because he moderates all the comments.
The moderator wants it to stay on topic, and you took it way off.
No, it's not that. Because people commenting on there comment on a range of things. They just throw shit out there.
But you took it too far.
Apparently I did, but I don't think I took it any farther than anybody else. But for some reason, he has not liked my comments. Now I'm apparently banned from his site.
Well, there you go.
Because I put comments that is always deleted.
I find people that say apparently all the time just don't get it, though.
Apparently?
Yeah. You're like,
they apparently don't get it?
It's not apparent. It's like, you did.
It's a fact.
You did take it too far. It's a fact. The moderator wasn't happy with it, and you're not.
Because, he's going on about certain things, which I'm like, I never really implied those things. And speaking of, I know we left last week's show on a cliffhanger about social media.
Yeah, so let's jump into that.
We're
done with the COVID for now.
Yeah,
we're done with my bike ride, weird people wearing masks, nice people wearing masks.
Being banned.
And I'll just say, let's just to officially wrap that up, probably ran into 50 people this morning, and 48 of them were super nice, and hey, how's it going? Good, nice weather, blah, blah, blah. And then 2 is whatever.
What percentage is that?
I just thought, I don't even know.
2 out of 50.
Do we have enough content to talk on a feature podcast about other stuff related to the pandemic?
Probably.
Okay.
But what's 2 out of 50?
We'll do a better job. We'll do a better job.
2 out of 50, what percentage is that?
4%.
That 2 out of 50 sounds like the mark I got on a chemistry test back in high school. Anyway.
Apparently.
Yeah. No, that one is actually true. So social media, we're on Twitter. We got our Twitter account.
Yeah, let's share the big news. So was the cliffhanger sharing the big news, the accessibility of the show?
And well, no, the cliffhanger was me going to be commenting on social media.
Okay, cool.
But
so just
Cop Car Coffee Twitter account.
Just to be clear, Cop Car Coffee at Cop Car Coffee on Twitter. So we're gonna
Cop Car Coffee.
Yeah. Cop Car Coffee at Cop Car Coffee. That's the Twitter.
I have no clue how
that's the Twitter handle, and from time to time we'll be throwing stuff out there. And we had a wonderful new follower to the account this week.
Yeah, that's right.
Your Worship. Yeah, isn't that the
Is that what they call
title? Him? Yeah, Mayor Watson.
Mayor Watson. They call mayors Your Worship
on Twitter. I believe so.
Wouldn't that be like the Archbishop?
It sounds like medieval England or something.
It does, yeah.
Ooh, Ken Follett. Now there's something.
Ken Follett?
My new book. There's a topic for a future podcast. Okay. Anyways, there I am grabbing a coffee one day before work.
Yeah.
And I'm in line at the Tim's.
Can we say it? Can we say Tim's?
We definitely can. Okay. And I'm like, is that Jim Watson? I'm like, so I'm the creepy guy.
Jim Watson is the mayor of the city
of Ottawa.
Capital of Canada.
Yeah, so there I am in line. Oh, yeah, you're filling in the international listeners. I like it.
Yeah.
So I'm the creepy guy at the counter with my creepy mask on, taking a selfie, which takes a little longer than it should because I'm angling it to get Jim in the background. And I post it. And I thought we had like no followers hardly in that account. It's like a couple days old.
Yeah.
And I didn't think anything of it. And then I get into work and I'm drinking set coffee and setting up for the day. And I go on Twitter and there's immediately some lady like ranting about Watson being out having a coffee. Right. And I'm like, again, this is exciting. COVID, actually. Yeah, I'm excited. We've got an actual follower I don't know, so that's cool. Yeah. And she goes on and on about poor Mr. Watson, how he was in Eli Elshintiri's award out at the Heart and Soul Cafe having breakfast with him. And now he's having apparently breakfast with a bunch of people on Richmond Road in the heart of the city. And I'm like, whoa. I, for one, am not the mayor's biggest fan, for sure. Okay. I like him as a person. Yeah. And about 30% of his policies I'm okay with. Right. So I'm not his biggest fan. But he's a great guy, and I'm gonna have his back, I guess, for lack of a better word. I'm like, hey, number one, he's all by himself. Number two, he's at this giant oak table. Like, I can't believe the Tim's has such fancy furniture. But what a neat spot to have a meeting, if in fact that's what he was about to do. Right. Because you could put 4 people at this table, like 8 feet apart. Like, this thing was gigantic.
Yeah. Maybe that's where they're doing their city council meetings now.
There you go. Yeah. All
20 city councilors.
All scooched around. So anyways, I said, lady, and I said, even after all that, I'm pretty sure we're in the orange zone. We're open. It's not illegal. Kind of left it at that. Fire something back.
So you got into a Twitter war on the Cop Car Coffee?
Not really. I got bored really quickly.
Cop Car Coffee
this was back and forth a maximum of 3 times because I was done and I had a much more engaging day at work to prep for. Yeah. So I'm like, it's not illegal. He's by himself. She's like, how would Dr. Etches feel about this? We're being told you should never be out in public with anyone from outside your household, and on and on and on. And I'm like, I said one more thing, like, you know what, Peggy? I said, you sound like you have a heart of gold. God bless you, dear. However, you know what would do you good? Find a bestie and go have a coffee with them, you know? Do wonders for your mental health. Yeah. And let's just leave it at that. I'm not going to argue. Not going to argue.
It's probably
Mr. Watson was like liking all, putting hearts for all this.
And he followed us.
And then he followed us. So it was pretty cool.
So but
seems like a pretty even-keeled guy, right? That's That's that story. That's the Twitter thing. Yeah.
So my take on that is exactly that. My problem with social media.
Oh, we agree.
Is that it's become really toxic, in my opinion.
It's such a
How many Twitter wars go on? How many Facebook posts go on? How many
time waster.
People out there?
Yeah.
Well, it's a big time waster.
Super time waster.
Yeah. Facebook is a huge time waster. But the Facebook is funny because It's people our age that are mostly on it now. It's not kids. Kids don't use Facebook apparently. And like I talked to my daughter about Facebook. She's like, "What?
No,
what is Facebook?"
Very true.
But so my wife's on there. Like I don't have. I had a Facebook account. I deactivated it.
I've got aunts on Facebook, like 80-year-old aunts. Like that's definitely a cool platform for them to stay connected, right?
Yeah, they want to stay connected with family. But I find still people post stuff on that. It's just like, oh my God! So the posts I hate.
Well, it's kind of funny because you get, and again, I'm on it just because I have it's almost like a placeholder. I don't want someone else claiming to be me out there. So I have a couple, but I bet you I'm on it once every couple months.
Oh, I'm never on it.
I actually used it a bit to try to promote the podcast, but
there you go. Yeah,
I'm not really on it, but my wife is, and it's funny because it's all your weird relatives that you learn about on Facebook and their stances on stuff, because the things they say, there's no filter amongst 60-year-olds on Facebook, right? It's hilarious the things they'll say.
Oh my God! But I had like a lot of previous work colleagues that are on there, and I don't know. I just like, I guess their opinions don't mesh with mine, but I find that it was become.
I find that hard to believe.
Yeah, exactly. Become really toxic, and like one person like just must have had Trump derangement syndrome. Like I'm not a fan of Trump by any means at all.
Yeah, but you're more sympathetic to Trump than anyone I know.
No.
Yeah, you are.
No.
Oh, come on.
No.
Come on, DDT.
No, not at all. But don't put those words in my mouth. I don't want to get banned from our own podcast. But like every day, like I don't know how many times a day, they would just go on about Trump being a complete idiot. It's like, okay, we understand. Okay, he is an idiot. You don't need to keep posting. So there was definitely Trump derangement syndrome on that.
Tiring.
So anyway, I just got off. I don't have Twitter because of the whole nature of that. I don't have Instagram and stuff like that. But I guess I'm gonna have to start doing some posting on our Cop Car Coffee Twitter.
You definitely should.
So where else are we on our podcast?
Okay, so
you can find
Podbean has been fantastic with their upgraded subscription for us, and they're helping us get everywhere. So it was kind of a funny story in itself how you get what's called an RSS feed. Does that make sense?
RSS, yeah, that's like a...
Is it RSS?
Yeah, RSS, yeah.
Yeah, so we get the feed, and then we're able to put that on the other platforms. So iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, and Spotify were super straightforward, simplistic. You basically apply to get on.
They obviously didn't listen.
Yeah, I wonder if they have some character in a cubicle listening to podcasts.
Well, how would he have described it to the manager at Spotify?
Sir, it's another podcast about nothing.
Yeah, I
think they're safe.
It's like Seinfeld, but without the humor.
So it was kind of fun to get
they're not controversial.
To get the email back saying you've been accepted, blah blah blah. So yeah, we're actually on those platforms now, and we also applied to a bunch of other ones. Many I've never even heard of, but the biggest would be iTunes. And just to put things in comparison, iHeartRadio and Spotify, who most people know, back to us in 48 hours approved.
Yeah.
iTunes, we will get back to you within 3 to 5 weeks.
Oh, wow. But
so
did they get back to you already? No.
No, God, no. So I'm not expecting anything for another 2 to 4 weeks, I guess.
They got to ramp up their
And
approvals.
I'm sure we'll get on, but it's like, it tells me that probably not, even with all these different podcast platforms out there, iTunes probably has 90% of the world's podcasts.
Oh, really?
Well, why else would it take 5 weeks to...
Do we need to grease them?
Maybe. Yeah.
Send them some money?
Yeah,
here's $10.
That looks like a hidden skill of yours, for sure.
Yeah,
the greaser.
Yeah.
No, just greasing.
Greasing, I was
greasing. You think a bit of a greaser. Yeah, so anyways, that's cool.
I am Italian.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but as if you did, sure. Okay.
Yeah, that's okay for me to say it, I guess.
I can't say that.
No, you can say it. I don't get offended.
Oh, man. So what...
I'd like to...
a couple other things. I feel like we're wrapping it up soon.
Maybe. But I'd like to throw out a segment idea I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Duff's Picks?
Well, okay, 2 segment ideas. The first segment idea I had was like, things we should do,
but we didn't.
But didn't.
Yeah.
segment.
It's perfect.
For example,
interviewing Dr. Vera Etches.
Yeah, for example, we wanted to have
JB on as well.
We wanted to have BJ on.
Yeah.
BJ. We wanted to have. Some people are confused whether it's JB or BJ.
I don't see why. We're pretty clear on that one, aren't we?
I think it's interchangeable. But he was happy. He was happy that people are really confused about.
Yeah.
He mentioned that. I said people are confused whether you're BJ or JB.
And that's good better because he doesn't want anything tied specifically to him and his mysterious 9 to 5 or
that's
job.
It. So we'll leave that as a mystery, whether it's BJ or JB.
Perfect.
So things we should do, which was interview him.
Yes.
Because we talk about him a lot.
We're going to get an interview.
Which we didn't.
One of these weeks.
So things we should do but didn't.
Yeah.
Interview BJ, JB.
But didn't.
Things we should do but didn't, which was our idea about interviewing people with
famous last names. But we didn't. Yeah.
Things we should do was you contacting your bestie, Dr. Etch's sister.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
Yeah.
Things we should do but didn't.
There's been a couple more. I don't know whether it's...
Things we should do but didn't is plan out what we should talk about in the podcast.
Oh, God, yeah.
But we didn't.
But maybe after this episode feels extremely discombobulated. I don't know if it's just me. We should have a bit of a... Now that we're going worldwide with these platforms, maybe we need...
Do we have a plan or no?
Maybe a little... Maybe
best?
4 bullet points, just the 4 best things to talk about. 5 minutes each and wrap it up.
Yeah.
Short, sweet, and clear.
So, but that might
but
make
we didn't.
But we didn't. That might make it onto the segment.
Okay.
Things we should do, 4 bullet points. But we didn't.
Be organized.
Be organized. But we won't.
Okay.
And then the other segment I was thinking of was Duff's picks.
Like
because
that.
we had talked about stocks.
I have great picks.
Stocks that you pick like AMC.
Oh man.
Yeah. And your good fortune of it was like bad fortune turned into good fortune.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Pure luck. But your recent picks haven't been too great. So I'm not saying that we necessarily should give out stock.
Well, I'm hanging on.
Don't
make me sound like a failure in investing. I am hanging on.
You're hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, I'm hanging
with these latest ones.
Yeah.
So maybe it shouldn't be Duff's picks for...
No, just general Duff's picks.
But I think just general Duff... I'll give you one, which was a good one for me.
Yeah.
You said Duff's picks, watch Bad Blood on Netflix.
One of the best series I've ever seen.
It was a little slow to start, but
like a lot of them.
Fantastic.
Like a lot of them. So Bad Blood was a Canadian series based on the Montreal sort of mafia crime scene.
Vito Rizzuto.
What a show.
Speaking of greasy,
Oh, jeez.
Can I say that? Or you
can.
Now that we're all in all these podcasts,
you can.
Platforms, maybe one of the mob people will be listening.
Well, that's what they want, that appeal, I think.
Yeah.
But what was so great about that was it was kind of a documentary, kind of real. Obviously, Well, didn't you say the first season was more real and the second one was more fictitious?
Yeah, so I looked it up.
That? Yeah,
because I was wondering about the second season as well.
Yeah.
Like, did all this sort of happen? The first season was based on Vito Rizzuto and his life, and there was some mystery around the way he kind of died in the end.
Yeah. And didn't his son take over there in the second?
No, because it's no.
Oh no, the main character.
The main character took over. Yeah.
What was his name?
Declan.
Yeah.
So I guess he was a real character in the first one. Rizzuto's son got killed, but that was speculation that it was Declan that did it.
Yeah.
And Declan that maybe killed Rizzuto, but they never did an autopsy, and then they cremated him within 24 hours. So we'll never find out what happened there. But
great series, eh?
But the second season was great too.
Yeah.
But I think that was more, from what I looked up online, it was more based on fiction, and
they took a little more creative content, sort of
creative liberties on that one. So Duff's picks, that was good.
And that's it. That's Duff's pick for this week. Then is just if you have some time and you've listened to our podcast and you want to give Bad Blood a go on Netflix.
2 seasons. I think about 10 episodes each.
Yeah. No, I don't.
Really great Canadian content show.
I don't binge watch TV, but I binge watched a bit of that. I just when you finish an episode and you're like, you still got lots left, you fire up the next one.
Fire up the next one.
Yeah, so I did a bit of that.
Yeah, so that was good. So that's a good Duff's pick.
Cool.
For the first week. So I don't know if we want to think about that for later on.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll come up with other stuff for you.
Yeah.
Now,
I want to give a shout out though. Actually,
how are we doing for time?
I don't know. I thought you were timing this. I didn't hear anything go off yet.
I didn't. So I almost sense we're well over 20 minutes. How about you give your shout out? We'll wrap it up, and we'll promise the good listener maybe some bullet points for next week, just to keep us on track.
Things we should do, but
this could be titled the most discombobulated episode yet. Yeah,
this will tie it all together.
Okay,
I'm going to holler out to a buddy of mine. I know he's a listener to the podcast as well.
Great.
But as you know, I've been working on a custom building of a motorcycle for the last couple of years, and making it into a cafe racer. I'll let people look that up to see what those are.
Cafe racer, and most people say projects that last days, weeks, months, but just to be clear, this has been years.
3 years in the making.
And if it's the same bike that has shared space in your bedroom as well. No?
This bike has remained in the garage.
The good listener should know you have a motorcycle in your bedroom.
Not bedroom, no. I have a motorcycle in my living room.
Okay.
In my living room.
And your wife has been fine with that, obviously.
No. Oh. No, she wasn't fine with that.
Oh.
I kind of put it in there when she wasn't looking.
Well, Lisa, I thought it was in the bedroom. That's hilarious.
No, I couldn't get it up the stairs. It's hard enough getting up the little entrance to the...
Right on. Okay, so
So
you've
my
been working on it, shout out.
3 years. So I want to give a holler out to him because he's been a huge help on the last part of the project, which was last summer and into the fall.
Cool.
I'm doing a lot of welding, cutting, metal cutting and stuff like that. He's not a welder, but he's got a welder and all that stuff. And the bike is looking really great.
Nice.
Down to the last little bit of it. So I wanted to give a holler out to him, shout out to him.
Cool.
For big thanks on all the help.
Does he have a name or?
His name is Chris.
Chris, right on.
Yeah. So he's a great guy. Super into motorcycles as well.
Yeah.
And
is this the guy that had the enduro dirt bike as well?
He's got a lot of dirt bikes.
But his wife wouldn't sell it?
His wife would not sell it. I asked for you.
That's the one I wanted, right?
Yeah, I did ask for you, but
no go.
You don't want to sell it. But I mean, you're not offering as much as they paid for it.
I will offer market value minus 20%.
Yeah. It's probably why he doesn't want to sell it.
It's a used bike.
I mean, it's pretty much brand new. They didn't barely ride it, I think.
All right, Tom, I'll offer.
I think it's a Honda.
Minus 10%.
I don't know if we can say Honda, but it's a Honda.
They're nice bikes. It's a nice bike. Anyhow, that's cool. No.
But so I want, before the end of this podcast, I meant to give him a shout out last week.
Yeah.
I forgot.
Bullet points, dude. Bullet points.
I know I should write that down, but didn't. So
next week.
Things we should do, but didn't.
Things we should do, but didn't.
We'll have more next week, hopefully.
Folks, thanks a lot for listening. Don't forget to share the word that we're out there on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Google Podcasts.
And follow us on Twitter
at Cop Car Coffee.
What? At Cop Car Coffee?
What? Cop Car Coffee at Cop Car Coffee.
See, I have no clue.
You never do.